Welcome to the Survivor to Thriver show with your happiness expert, Samia Bano. Are you a survivor of abuse or other trauma? Are you tired of feeling stuck, silent, and stressed all the time? This is the podcast people from all over the world join in to learn exactly how to stop suffering and start living with more inner peace and joy. Are you ready to eliminate suffering from your life and transform from a survivor to thriver? Then congratulations, you are in the right place. Let's get started. Hey, welcome back to the Survivor to Thriver show. As you know, I've been inspired by my experience of Valentine's Day this year into a reflection on love. So we are going to be devoting the next few episodes into taking a deeper look into this concept of love and exploring it and seeing how we can understand what love is and how to love and how to be loved in a much more deep way, in a much more heart-centered way. And yesterday, I actually shared with you some really important teachings about what love is. And I promised you that I will, from today, begin to delve into a deeper examination and evaluation of each of those teachings that I talked about or highlighted or mentioned last episode. We're going to take them one by one and begin to really dig deep into them. And today, the teaching that I really want to highlight and look into is this idea that where there is love, there is no attachment. Where there is love, there is no attachment. Now, why is this like a really important teaching to look into? It's because I really, as I was thinking about this whole issue, I realized that one of the biggest struggles that we face in our quest for love is that oftentimes we don't even really understand what love is. And we oftentimes use this word love. I mean, we are using it all the time. But we can mean so many different things. We can use it in so many different contexts. We hear it being used in so many different contexts that we may not even have a clear definition of what love is in our mind. We just sort of have like this feeling that we know as love. But even in the context of what we experience at the level of feelings, sometimes the feelings themselves are so complex and multi-layered. It's not just one simple emotion. Sometimes we can have a whole mix of emotions. And it can be challenging to figure out, okay, what part of this is love and what part of it may be something else. In terms of especially how it manifests in our behavior and how it makes us act. So an example of this is actually, like a beautiful example of this is actually highlighted in the very story through which I, heard this particular framing of this teaching. So I was sharing with you an episode of the Mahabharata, which is one of the great Indian epics. And, it's a story, that's not just told. It's like part of the Hindu spiritual tradition. And it's like all the stories that are part of our different faith and spiritual traditions. These are stories that are not told for entertainment. They're told for us to learn important moral and ethical lessons from. And so in this particular story, the character of God incarnate, Krishna, is talking or teaching, delivering this teaching to the character of Guru Dronacharya. And Guru Dron, for short, is this teacher, this great teacher. He's in fact, one of the greatest warriors. And he is in fact so good that it is said that no one can defeat him without his letting them defeat him, essentially. That he has to allow somebody to defeat him for them to be able to defeat him. And one of the reasons why is because he actually has worked so hard and does so much through his devotion. He has actually been blessed by the gods themselves, and he has access to the weapons of the gods themselves. So he cannot be defeated. He has all these weapons and all these abilities and capabilities, and that make him impossible to defeat. However, and at this point in time, he is enjoying this position of great power and influence. But it wasn't always the case for Guru Dron. There was a time when the kingdom in which Guru Dron was living, he was treated with great injustice. And in fact, he, along with his family, were thrown out of that kingdom and left destitute. And Guru Dron had to watch his son crying with hunger. And his wife got sick and died in that state of poverty and destitution. And at that time, Guru Dron made this oath, made this promise to himself, to his son, to the memory of his deceased wife, that he would do whatever it takes to turn things around, to provide for his son, to take care of his son. And in fact, he made an oath to make his son the king of the very kingdom from which they had been thrown out and where they had been treated with so much injustice. And in the process of fulfilling this oath, Guru Dron made many compromises with his conscience. There were many times when he knew there was something happening that was a great injustice, and he stood by silently and allowed that injustice to happen, even though he had the power to stop it. Right? And this happened not once, but many times over. Now fast forward to this very specific scene where Guru Dron, there's a war going on in which he and his son were both participating, and Guru Dron has just been informed that his son has been killed. And this throws Guru Dron into a state of such rage and anger, and sadness, that he's ready to use one of the divine weapons that he has been given by the gods to not only end his own life, but to destroy the world. Because he's like, this world has taken my son away from me, and without my son in this world, my life is not worth living, and this world that has taken my son away from me does not deserve to continue to exist. So he is about to use one of his divine weapons to end the world, end all life in the world. And in this moment, the God Krishna steps in, and he stops Guru Dron, and he tells him that now you have crossed all limits of unrighteous behavior, and you cannot be allowed to destroy the world in this way. And therefore, I am going to kill you right now in punishment. And so Guru Dron, recognizes that, this is indeed God incarnate, and of course, he has the capacity and the capability and the power to kill me. So he submits. He says, okay, I'm willing, I don't want to live anyway, and I know you can kill me, and it will in fact, so I want you to kill me, so please kill me, but before you kill me, please explain to me what my mistake is. Because he says, everything that I've done, all the decisions that I've made in my life, including this decision that I made right now to end my life, to end all life on earth, has been motivated by my love for my son. And love is the highest value there is. So how can I be wrong in having made this decision or all my previous decisions? Why are you so angry with me? Why are you so angry with me? Please explain to me what my mistake is before you kill me. And so God Krishna tells Guru Dron that what you are feeling for your son, or the feeling that has led you to make this decision and all those other decisions that have led you to this point, that feeling is not love. That is not love. What you're feeling for your son is attachment. What you had for your son is attachment. Because love leads to prosperity and teaches us the difference between right and wrong. That what you felt for your son has led you and your son and even the rest of the world quite literally to the brink of utter destruction. And it has made you forget the difference between right and wrong. So now you are questioning me as to what your mistake is. You don't even realize what your mistake is. You have forgotten the difference between right and wrong. And if you truly loved your son, it would have led you to prosperity. It would have led your son to prosperity. It would have led the world to prosperity, and would have taught you the difference between right and wrong. But what you feel for your son is not love, it's attachment. And he says, where there is love, there is no attachment. Where there is love, there is no attachment. So think about this. some more. My gosh, it took me longer than I expected to set the context of the story, but I think it was like an important thing to do. So I will go ahead and wrap up the episode here for today, and we will pick up where we are leaving off in tomorrow's episode. In the meanwhile, hey, since we're talking about love, please give me some love by going onto iTunes, log into your iTunes account, and leave this show a 5-star rating. Okay? I love to hear from you. So if you can take an extra minute and also leave me a comment along with your 5-star rating, I will love you back and keep you in my thoughts and prayers. And I wish you lots of peace and joy.